sorry. I had to talk to the guy about my car. Apparently I have a brake light out. I didn't even know it was out, so getting it fixed. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So they picked 7,000 people for the program that my dad was selected for. And in documentation I read, it was of a court case that you'll hear about later. They selected these people based on them being the best. The best. These people were the elite soldiers. They were the soldiers that were the smartest, the brightest, the most highest achievers. They were the best soldiers they had. Now, who does this? They took their best soldiers and put them in the chemical testing they called clothing testing. However, it was a secret testing. And what they actually did was use LSD on them. They didn't even know how safe LSD was or in what doses it could kill you. I mean, they could have killed these people. They may have killed these people. But they chose 7,000 people, their brightest soldiers. Who takes their brightest in any company and defuncts them, messes them up? Seriously. Only the United States government, probably. So, he was chosen for this program. He did not know it was LSD testing. Neither did the other 6,099 whatever people. Nobody understood that. They thought they were doing clothing testing. So they would go in and sit down and have chats with these people, you know, these higher ups who knew what was going on. And they would give them water and different things. And this water was actually laced. It was LSD water, but you couldn't taste it. And they kept encouraging you, have some water, drink this. You know, they were being friendly with you. They were offering you things that you didn't usually get. And signing up for these programs made it look good for you. Anybody who volunteered for stuff, it looked better when they wanted advancement, when they wanted to move on with their career. So that's another thing they probably looked for, was career-oriented people. People who got into this job because they really wanted it and they were going to be here for the long haul. So they would do anything. These people would do anything to have career advancement. But little did they know, they were being poisoned. You know, this started a downward spiral. This messes up your mind forever. These great soldiers couldn't even figure out how to line up and do a standard walk with a bunch of other soldiers. They were all over the place, wandering around. I have footage on this, by the way, and I'll attach a link later so you can watch this whole thing. It's amazing what we've done to our own people. How you would take bright, wonderful people and just ruin them. You didn't just ruin their jobs, you ruined their life. But you know what? No one can bring you down unless you let them bring you down. You strive to be better. They can try to bring you down, but you won't let them. So there's where the story changes. My dad could have been just one of those people that just was ruined for life and on medications and couldn't cope and depressed and all of these things. But he kept going. He kept pushing. He didn't even know what was happening until after he retired. He was in for 20 years. He didn't even know. They sent him a letter in the mail telling him. And at first he couldn't believe it. He just cried. Can you imagine? We have a soldier who fought in wars, who kept us free, and he broke down and cried? He cried because he trusted them. They were his family, and they let him down. Then he realized something. It wasn't the government that let him down. It was a few people allowed to control what was going on in the government. This video, if you decide to watch it, not the one I'm making, but the next one that I'm going to attach, you'll be amazed. They didn't just do that. They went into hospitals and poisoned people. They put some sort of fumes through the air, out car exhaust, and gave everybody sicknesses in the city. And all of this was for, testing purposes. We have to test. We have to see what things will affect people so we'll know for the enemy. The enemy? You're killing your own people. Test it on the enemy if you want. So, here's where the story changes. My dad went on to become a deputy and then moved up through the ranks to sergeant and lieutenant and then eventually retired. He did not let what happened to him stop him from greatness. And the next profession he went on to was to help people again. It was to fight for what was right. He wasn't just out there writing tickets and doing things that you only see. There's a lot of good that happens in police agencies. And he was out there helping serve families for Thanksgiving, helping round up free turkeys that we could give to homeless families or families having a hard time. There is a lot of good in the world. And just because you see somebody, don't judge them from the outside, what they're wearing or how you think they probably are. Judge them from their heart. That's what really counts. Because all of us are in different professions, and the profession doesn't define us. We define us. There's good and bad in everything. You need to learn how to pick out the evil, and you need to learn to notice the good. Don't let anybody bring you down, because only you can bring you down. So a lot of the things I learned from my dad. And over the years, you think people are your friends or you think people are out for your best interest, but they're really not. Some people are out there for the good, but even the news just promotes all the negative stuff. When my dad decided to sue the government, you know why the news was at our house. As I was growing up, I lived through this. They were there because it was the next big story. And the minute that something else better came up, they would cancel the story and go on. So it wasn't about that they cared. It was about that it was the next big story. You have 10 seconds of fame. You know what? That's not what it's about. He sued the government. He wasn't even sure about that for a while. He sat on that and thought about it. He was wondering, where are all the other people? There were 7,000 of us. Where are all the other people? I don't hear anything in the news about these people. I don't hear any connections about these people. Were they afraid to do something? Were they dead? What happened to them? Well, some of them were in a state of depression. They couldn't even hold jobs after that at all. These were ranking people with dedication, loyalty, always on time, always doing what they were supposed to do. And now they couldn't even hold a job. I mean, they were helpless. The government ruined them. But you can't let somebody else ruin you. You're only ruined when you allow yourself to believe what they tell you. Don't believe in yourself. If no one else believes in you, you believe in yourself. And then one day, you can pay that forward and you can believe in others when no one else believes in them. I share this story not because I want you to look at the link and read about my dad or anything like that. That was years ago. And that wasn't defining him. He was a lot of things. That was just one of the aspects of his life. I leave you this because I want you to see how a poor boy from a small town changed his life, did something great, was shot down again by something, brought himself back up, did something great, moved on to again help another person, and continue the cycle. And then raise children with that same thought so that we could do the same thing in the world. I'm Vicki Brown, and my website is fighttheforcesofevil.org. That Fight the Forces of Evil means more than you can imagine to me. I fight the forces of evil every day.